Here we go. Welcome to the podcast.
Hello.
I have Andrea here. Andrea Summers as a co-host.
Yay.
Out of retirement. Welcome back, Andrea.
Out of retirement for how long?
A day.
Right.
I think you've made that very clear. You're like, I'll come back. Why? Because Lily requested.
Yes, I sure did.
So,
I was discussing since Rocky. I was like, if I get on this podcast, you're coming with.
yeah.
So you better carve some time, girl.
So that voice you hear is Lily Medina, who is our guest today. Thank you for joining us.
Oh, thank you guys for having me.
So welcome to the podcast. So let's get down to the nitty gritty. You ready to do this?
Yeah. Oh, we're going to open these
Here
first?
we go.
Okay.
Ready? Yeah.
Nice and crisp.
Woo! Yeah. Okay, so we have not been on the podcast for a long hot minute. I haven't been. There's been some stuff. I did a little update as to what, and I'm not going to go back over that again because it sucks. So nothing but positive here right now.
Yes, positivity.
Yeah.
All the good vibes.
We're back. We're back. So get back on it. I want to get back to running, recording. You like the sticker?
I love it. I just saw it. I was like, how did I miss this?
Well, yeah, because it's for people who are guests. It's
Yes,
a special
awesome.
one.
I love it.
So actually, I think there's a post coming out while we're recording. I just released a very limited edition shirt, which if you know, you know. It's funny. I mean, like it's for the corn stars.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'll have to check it out before I leave.
Yeah. Okay, so Lily, looks like you want to correct me. You started your running journey in 2020, does it look like?
I think I did some like really short road stuff before that, like 2019, 2018, when I just knew road, and that was it. And I would do like those theme races in Chicago, like the Monster Dash and the Hot Chocolate. Those are the ones that I did. But
So
I mean,
did you
it
start
wasn't faithfully that I was running. I was just kind of going with friends that would like, hey, we're going to run. Do you want to come? I'm like, sure, why not?
So did you start your ultra running journey in 2020?
I sure did after Galena.
Okay.
Yeah, Galena started it all for me. I think that was 2020 was my first trail race.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
How did you find out about that?
Actually, I was running the turkey trot, our local turkey trot in Oglesby, and I had a Day of the Dead shirt because I did a Day of the Dead 5K. And I had it on that day, and Diana, a girl that is from the running club, the Prairie Straight Road Runners, she was out there for that race, and we had the same shirt on. I ran past her, and I was like, hey, I like your shirt. And she's like, oh, yeah. And then we crossed the line at the finish line. We were getting pie, and all the stuffing and all the Thanksgiving goodies. And she's like, hey, where did you get that? I was like, oh, I actually went, to run out there. And she's like, oh, that's right in my hometown. I grew up in that area. I was like, oh, because it's in Pilsen. Mm-hmm. I was like, oh, that's so cool. And I asked her, are you from around here? Because I've never seen you. And she's like, no, I actually, are out by the Joliet, Janahan area. Mm-hmm. But I belong to a running group over there, and our turkey trot that we do got canceled. So I wanted to run a turkey trot, so I came to Oglesby. Mm. And lo and behold, she's like, do you want to join our group? I know we're far away, but we can still stay connected online. So I was like, sure, why not?
Okay.
And that's how it all started.
All right. Because
I love that.
It is awesome.
It was so, I just, like when it's meant to be, it's meant to be. There's people that should just show up and change your life forever.
Oh my gosh. That's 100% true.
Yeah.
And I think it's amazing when those people come in, you're like, I did not expect you to come into my life.
Yeah.
Stick around.
Yeah.
But here you are.
Well, and then, we just kept in touch through Facebook. Like, I never saw her in person again. Mm-hmm. So just through Facebook. And then I don't know what we were talking about. And then she's like, oh, we're doing a big group of us is going out to Galena to do this trail race. Mm-hmm. I'm like, well, I don't run trails. I just do roads. She's like, oh, come. It's going to be so much fun. You just do this loop and, walk it or run it. And then whenever you get tired, you just sit at the tent and wait. And, and when you're ready to go, you go again. So I was like, okay, then I'll come and do that. And I signed up for it. And
that was 2021, I see.
2021. Then, yeah. Because that was my first trail race. Other than that, I just did 5Ks.
And did very good, it looks like.
Yeah, that was the first time I actually ever ran more than 13 miles.
Oh, that's awesome.
Because the most I ever did was the half marathon at the Monster Dash. And even for the hot chocolate, I think I only did the 10K. So when she told me, I was like, whatever. I mean, I'm going to be able to at least do 13 miles if I can just stop whenever I want. But the problem was that every time I went by the tent, nobody was there. So I just kept on running.
So how many miles did you do?
31, I think.
How about 36.53?
Oh, okay. I honestly thought it was like 31 because I was like, oh yeah. They're like, oh my God, you just did an ultra. I'm like, and what does that mean? And they're like, anything over 26 miles. I was like, oh, yay. Clueless.
So
Clueless me.
one of my questions when I was diving into your history on Ultra Sign Up, I was kind of like, I saw you had done the Yeti Ultra 24 Challenge in 2020. And my big question to you is, are you what a lot of people call a COVID running club, part of the COVID running club, where we saw a lot of people born from, hey, we're going to shut down the world. You can't go to work. You can't be with us and that. And then you see an emergence of people being like, well, I'm not going to stay in my house and hide. I'm going to run. I'm going to be healthy. I'm going to go out.
Well, actually, it wasn't even running that I started with. I started with weight training.
Nice.
I joined Beachbody. So that got me into my fitness journey.
Okay.
So I did that for like a year and a half, 2 years. And then I loved it. I mean, I would do every workout. I was so faithful to it. And I could see gains in my body and stuff. So I was really into it. But then this opportunity of running came. And then I was like, oh, I really like this too. Slowly, I backed away from the strength and just head on to running.
Wow. I love it. It's just so amazing to me.
It was it was so different.
I think it's really cool because we've seen so many people. I would say I'm kind of one of them. I mean, I started before it, but then I really Andrea knows, like I really just kind of emerged because of it. And it's just because I feel like so many of us were like, no. And we did a lot. I mean, I ran my 100-miler in 2020. Yeah. So it's because there's a lot of bad things happen because of that pandemic, and that sucks. But also, there's
a lot of good things that came from it.
A lot of positive things happen, and I'm so proud of all the people who are like, "No, I'm going to flip the script here."
Yeah, and that would happen to me, just especially because I was a teacher. Yeah, so I was home all day teaching, and then my girls were in school, so then I had to do.
For your sanity, you had to go.
It was awful. Like, I would be at the kitchen table teaching my students, and my 2 girls would be like behind me against the wall at their desks trying to learn. And at that point, Dahlia was in preschool. She was, she's my sensitive one, and like she couldn't keep up with the teacher, so I could just see her crying, the meltdown on the floor, and I could hear the teacher in the background, Dahlia, it's okay, honey, it's okay, just get up. And she'd be like, no, like the world was ending just because she couldn't keep up. So then I'm like, oh my God, what am I going to do now? And then I could hear the teacher, Iris's teacher on the other computer, Iris, can you move to a quieter area? And I was like, oh, it was a nightmare. So, that's, I think that was my outlet. Like, this is where I could just get all my frustrations out, get my anxiety out. Okay. But yeah, those things do come away from it, like all the positives.
I like that.
So, yeah.
Andrea can't see my face here. I was trying to.
I can see a little bit.
I'm looking at you like,
no, you look like a ghost. We just see your shadow.
So I was going to ask what inspired you to start running during the pandemic, but it really was was it more for frustration to get out of the house?
Yeah, and it was something I could do whenever and wherever, especially because I had a treadmill. So I originally began just running on my treadmill at home. Like, I wouldn't even go outside just because my girls were so little. Like, so I could run on the treadmill. They'll play around me, the Legos and everything. So... And then eventually, once the weather got nicer, then I would take it outside, push the stroller and things like that. But I originally just began in my treadmill.
All right. We're going to talk about a lot of the amazing stuff you did more recently, the Rocky Raccoon 100. And how do you say, is it Wausa?
Wausa.
We're going to dive into that. But, like as always, I kind of want to just kind of go backwards a little bit. We'll go before 2020. And you said you kind of did some some other road races and whatever. As a kid, did you run?
No, nothing.
Okay.
Nothing. I didn't do anything through grade school or high school, nothing at all. I picked up running for maybe about a year when I was going to school at ISU.
Okay.
So I was really struggling with just overwhelm, and I found that the dorm where I was staying at had a gym. Okay. So then I wouldn't sleep at night, so I would get up and go to the gym and just walk on the treadmill.
Okay.
Just to... I don't know, like to get myself tired so that I could go to sleep. And then eventually I would go down there and then start running. I was kind of so embarrassed because I was like, oh my God, they're going to think I'm weird. Like, what is this girl doing down here running? And it was especially hard because I was considered like a non-traditional student because all the kids there were so young and I was already like 21. Like I just started school late. But like I knew in order for me to finish, I had to move in so that I could just focus on that. So then I felt awkward, being this 21-year-old with all these 16, 17, really super young kids there.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's how it started. But then once I did my last semester that I was student teaching, I couldn't do it anymore. It was just too much. And then I dropped it, and that was that.
Until it came back.
Yeah, and eventually it came back again. But it was never something consistent. Like, it was just something I would do whenever I had time. So, yeah.
All right. So, should we just dive into it?
Yeah, let's start this.
Let's dive into all of it. I want to hear about Rocky Raccoon.
Oh, my God.
Rocky,
It was wet.
Rocky Muddy Raccoon.
I mean, there was no Rocky there. I don't understand where that Rocky word comes from. There really wasn't any.
So,
I mean, they were
really.
rocks, but I mean, some stuff that you can kick around, not big, huge, bulky rocks.
So is it not like the Dino course, Andrea, with the rocks?
No, I feel like that was similar to like Loudon Miller. Wow, I've only been gone 2 years.
Loudon Miller Forest
and stuff.
Loudon Miller Forest.
Yes, it was. I feel like it was similar to that compared to what Jen has experienced coming to Texas.
Yeah, that's why when I was like, I just don't understand why they call it Rocky Raccoon. I was honestly expecting like tons of rocks at some point, but nothing. Just water and mud everywhere.
I was expecting that too.
So it's like a name that is the opposite of what it is.
Yeah. I don't even know, like, why raccoon? Like,
did you see any raccoons?
I see none. None whatsoever. And everybody kept talking about the alligators. I didn't see any alligators either.
There's alligators?
Yeah, they had a big old sign at the entrance, like where you pick up your bibs and stuff. Be careful or beware of alligators. I was like, alligators
I was
where?
looking all over for him when I was with her girls, and we couldn't find any alligators. We were very disappointed.
But right, don't they have that big old sign there?
Yes,
And everybody
exactly.
talks about the alligators. Didn't see any. I mean, I'm glad, but.
Yeah, I mean, there's a point in time you really didn't want
Well,
to see.
I was just thinking, though, like with all the flooding, I'm like, are they going to come onto the course? You never know. Because didn't it happen for one of the races? Yes, it did for the Brazos Bend.
Yes, correct.
Correct, right? And then they had to move it to a different day because it was so flooded that the alligators came onto the course.
Well, I mean, it happened. There's something happened at Dino one year is all the snakes came out on the course and they had to close. They had to shut the race down because the flooding that they came up onto the course for safe, like not safety.
Yeah.
To
Well, for their safety, yeah.
Not ours,
God.
but yeah. Yeah, Texas is crazy. Who wants to go there?
Me.
Me.
Ultimate, my dream is to go there.
I mean, I can't wait to go back. I mean, not to race. I just want to go visit some crazy friend I have over there. But so Andrea, who is our co-host, was your pacer.
Yes, she was. And she was also my kind of crew. Yeah, she was crewing and pacing and taking care of my wild children while I was away.
Yeah.
In the non-rocky terrain.
I want to hear a funny story. What's the funniest story, Andrea, do you got about that? Like, what do you got? You got anything?
Oh, man. I mean, I got a funny one with the girls.
Let's hear it.
I don't know if that's a lot. Can we share that on the podcast?
I'll share it. It's fine.
About me not being able to find where I had to meet you. So Ephraim paced her the first 20 miles or 25.
Yeah.
And then I paced her the second 25 of the end, and I had no idea where I was supposed to meet her at. And the girls are tired, we're cold, we're wet, and there's flooding and mud everywhere. And we finally, long story short, we finally found where we had to meet her. Thank goodness for my husband, who was like GPS tracking me through the park. And I'm like, I don't know where to turn. And these guys tried to help me that had a lot of fun that day out at their camp. And
drink, you mean?
Here I have her two girls. And I found this lady, and she's like, you ain't making it back to that aid station with those girls. And I call Ephraim. I'm like, I don't know what to do. Should I get her out there? And he's like, those girls are tough. And I'm like, all right, if they're as tough as their mama, we're going for it. And those girls, I had them in my arms, each on both sides, and we're trekking all the way back there through this mud that's like
it was
half
awful.
high.
Half high?
It was awful. And it was so sticky. Like, it was just
and the
gross.
girls had Crocs on.
Oh, yeah.
It was
a blast.
It was a blast. That was a lot of fun. So that's part of her tough family.
Yeah. That's how we roll.
Good thing you work out too. If you had little Miss Big Arms there over there carrying 2 kids across through the mud.
My gosh.
Wow, that's awesome. So you're saying it was a little muddy.
Yeah, like.
Oh my gosh.
So did it slow you down? Did it mess up anything?
Oh yeah, like there's sections you couldn't run because if you stepped, like you would just slip.
Ouch.
Like it was just slippery, and even the race got delayed for 45 minutes.
I think so.
Yeah,
That was
because
right.
people couldn't get up onto the start line because it was so long, and even the people that had camped out, their camps got washed away with the rain the previous day. It was terrible. Like I had no idea because we had a little Airbnb close by, but we didn't know what the park looked like at all. And it was just a nightmare. I was freaking out in the car. I'm like, oh my God, it's like 5 minutes to start and we're not even close to the start line. And then somehow somebody was running by and they're like, oh, it's been delayed. You're fine. You got time. I mean, I got to the race maybe within like 5 or 6 minutes to spare. Like if I just jumped out of the car, went to the bathroom, got on the start line and we went. But it was
that's how she's starting a 100-miler.
Yeah,
I mean, come on, that's pretty badass right there.
Oh my God. It was like literally just jumped out of the car and I'm like, good luck finding parking. Like, I gotta go.
So did you have to like take your strategy and just tweak it completely? Like or throw it out the window?
Yeah, I had to, especially at the beginning. Because right when you walked in, it was just like mud. Mm-hmm. Like there was just a grassy section and then right away, it was just mud. Like you just stepped into mud that would go like ankle high. Mm-hmm. And there was no way of avoiding it or like no. So everybody was walking pretty much. Because what do you do? Like you can't run.
How do you keep a positive attitude during something so muddy like that, so mucky?
I just think at the beginning, everybody was just like, what else can go wrong? Like everybody
don't say that ever.
You know what I mean? But everybody was just laughing and giggling and, like, WTF, like, really? This is what we have to do?
Oh, you can totally say what the fuck.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. But, I think, and that's why I think it was just like, whatever, this is where we are. Mm-hmm. And everybody was just so, like, positive about it. Mm-hmm. Like, oh, well, this is just what it is. It's going to dry up. We just kept saying that. It's going to dry up. It's going to dry up.
Did it ever dry up?
It never dried up.
Did it keep raining?
Near the end. No, it didn't. But, like, the mud just stayed there. It didn't go anywhere. It didn't dry. It didn't get hot enough for it to dry. And then, the river crossings that...
Oh, you guys' feet were constantly wet and just making it worse constantly?
Yeah.
What was the humidity like?
Oh, it wasn't bad. I didn't think it was bad. No.
I'm looking at Andrea's face because usually sometimes you're running, you can't tell. So I didn't know if...
there was some points that it was like, it was raining and then I had my rain jacket on, but then I was like so sweaty. So I'm like, what difference does it make? If I take my coat off, I'm just going to get wet. If I keep it on, I'm going to be sweating. So I just ended up taking it off just because the rain even felt good because it was cooler. But that's how it was. It was just that weird off and on sprinkly rain here and there. And you're just like, oh God.
Would you do that race again?
I'd want to do it again just because I want to see what it's like without all that mess.
Oh, okay. You feel gypped a little bit?
This next year. This next year.
And I think it's a great race for your first 100-miler. It's got some elevation, but really
does it have horrible. Does it have a good cutoff? Or was it, for first? If you're seeing it for a first, that's why I asked.
I think it is, especially because it's a looped course. And I love the loop courses because of the safety net, like, oh no, I know I'm going to come back to camp after 25 miles if something goes wrong. I don't know. I just really do like it.
Are they not on Ultra Sign Up? They're not.
No, they're not. But I think it's a great course for a first 100-miler because it has an elevation, but not horrible. And it's got, it's not a technical course, but it's got some roots and rocks. I think it's a really good one.
Okay.
You got your hills, so it gives you a break from just being flat and nice runnable sections when you...
It's a 20-mile loop?
25.
25-mile loop? Okay.
Correct? Yeah, 25. Yeah, because it's 4. How do I forget now?
I think it's 20. Because
I'm trying to skim it.
We had to loop through. Well, I don't know. Man, wow, that's really sad that I can't
5 20-mile loops around
20.
a lake over wooden bridges and through tall pines, gently trails. I'm trying to find what the elevation gain was. Is there much of any? Is it pretty flat?
There is some. No, there's like slowly inclining. Yeah, but even those slow inclines, though, like you couldn't go fast because of the dang mud and the water rushing the opposite direction.
Okay.
Like you're going up and the water's coming down and there's mud.
It looks gorgeous in the pictures without the mud.
Yes, I think it would be a really nice course for a first 100 miler. I really do.
So it's a great place to PR.
See, it is a faster course.
Like, oops, I just PR'd over.
It really, from being out on the course, obviously it was muddy and I was only there for the 25 miles or whatever, but I feel like it's pretty much all runnable.
Right?
Obviously the mud is pretty rough on you, but if you know how to maneuver over roots, I mean,
no,
it is.
Flexors need to strengthen up.
Now I can edit this out, Andrea, but from what I remember, you came back and said, "Oh my gosh, Rocky Raccoon, you've got to come check this out."
Yes.
Right?
Oh yeah.
Okay,
It's like a good
I mean,
course.
that's my A race, I feel like, coming up if I can figure it out to sign up.
Okay.
Let me know and I come.
I didn't want to like put that out there, but I mean, you were like, and I want to know, is it also because how were the people? Were the aid station? You know what I mean? Like, because also
The aid stations were great. I'll be honest.
yeah.
I think.
Say
I
it.
want to say it.
Say it.
The Midwest community is much more welcoming.
Oh,
I
yeah.
really feel like it. I mean, like you would get like, yeah, good job. But I felt like I was doing most of that. And then people were just looking at me like, who the heck
I
are
feel
you?
like
Or
we are very spoiled. I've only had one other travel race.
Well, same. That's why I'm saying. But I didn't feel like.
and they were good. They were really good, but they weren't Midwest good.
No.
Yeah, and I think it's okay to say that. But it's just a Midwest. We have the Midwest welcome. You know what I mean? Like,
it's so true. I
Yeah.
felt it. I mean, everybody they were very welcome. Even when I came into the aid station the first time that I just couldn't remember where my tent was. There were some ladies that are like, "Do you need anything? We can help. Whatever. If you can't find your people, just let me know. We got everything." And I was like, "Okay, thank you." But I just feel like we're more welcoming, I think.
yeah. Oh, yeah, I agree with you. I thought that they were really great with the other Texas race, but I feel like I also get so used to the Midwest kind of.
Yeah, or maybe it's because we know some more.
It could be because we know
more people.
But I've heard Indiana is amazing.
Okay.
Yeah,
I haven't raced out there yet. So
I heard their aid stations are phenomenal, and they have that Midwest welcoming and just so much love. So I think it's just the Midwest. Like, of course, Texas. Yeah, no, I think it's just
I mean, the aid stations were really good. Everybody was super helpful and
stocked good with food.
yeah.
Okay.
Oh my god, I had the best zucchini burrito. Yes.
Wow.
Yes, they had like zucchini
Okay, that's
and
pretty awesome.
tomato and cheese and a flour tortilla. It was amazing.
That sounds really
Remember, I don't know if it was you that was it you. I'm like, they better have those burritos. They did not.
I could hear Andrea. I'm here for the burrito.
They did
I
not.
love it. And Lily eats the whole time, which is so satisfying to me because I'm like, you gotta eat her in a big race.
I do. Like I love to eat. My problem is hydration. That's where I'm struggling.
Oh.
That's what gets me.
You
But
did really good, though. I felt like as a pacer for you because for anyone that doesn't know, Lily and I kind of knew each other, but we
didn't really.
we didn't really know each other. And I was just like, oh, yeah, I don't live far from there. If you need like my tent and stuff, like, sure, I'll come.
Oh my God, I about cried when she said she would. Because I mean, I knew of her, but I've never talked to her. Like,
That's hilarious.
yeah.
And then she's like, sure, you want to pace me? I'm like, I'm afraid. I'm not going to be able
You
to.
were. I knew that, but you're always like that because you take your job so seriously, which is amazing.
She did
That's why she's so
amazing,
good.
though.
That's why she's so good. Yeah,
that she's so good.
because
Yeah.
she doesn't just half-ass it when she's like, "Yeah, I'll pace you, whatever."
Yeah.
No, she takes it serious.
Yeah,
So,
I could tell.
kudos to Andrea.
Well,
Yeah,
thank
she's
you. But my
awesome.
point being was that was like, she's saying she's not good on your hydration, but you were always. And then when your watch died, you were like, okay, just remind me to drink and eat at this time. And I was like, dang, you're good, girl.
I'll be honest. I think this is the first race that I ever felt good at finishing 100 miles.
Ooh, good.
Like I felt like I could run. I mean, I wasn't running fast, but there were sections that I could run. And I was like, oh, I can run this.
Okay.
I can run this. And I never felt like that. Like in my other 200 milers that I did or my 100K, I always felt like, oh my God, I'm going to die.
Do you think it's because you hydrated better this time?
I bet. And I bet it's because of the mud because I had to slow down. So I was like, oh, I might as well eat, might as well drink. I have to slow down anyway. So I was taking that as an advantage.
Okay.
So I
let's
think
just
that
say,
helped.
too, that Lily's saying that she was slow. She's not slow by any means.
I think I was low. I was like, I felt like I was like flying, and then I'd be everybody like, oh God, it's like only 3 steps ahead of everybody else.
She's a fast girl, people. She is a fast girl.
Yeah, she is.
But
I wouldn't be able to keep up at all. But that's okay. All right.
So I did pull up the elevation gain. It's 5,300, almost 5,400 for the 100 miler.
See, it's not bad.
That's a real good runnable course.
It is.
That is a PR place to go.
I think you should.
So who
do
wants
it.
to come down and be my friend next year?
Jen?
I'm on Cocodona. I'm already signed up for Cocodona.
So what? This could be your training run.
We could do the 50 miler or the 100K. I'm not doing the 100 miler.
Ooh, that sounds fun.
Ooh, that would be fun.
that
Let's
sounds
do
fun.
it.
Yeah.
I mean, your training run, 50 miles, right there.
Don't tell me. I'm looking at you too. Girls trip.
Let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's plan it.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Any girls want to come? If you're no drama.
You know
No
what?
drama.
Little Miss Lynn Janssen's going to be coming here in about an hour, so that won't be hard.
Oh, that would be hard. We'll have it pulled up right here. Just push this button right here. You got this.
I can already. Sure, I'll do
I
it.
honestly think it's a great course.
All right. We have a lot of questions, and we're already about a half hour into this, so we're going to keep moving along.
Oh.
Yeah. I want to hear more, though. That's the problem.
It was just fun. It was a great time, even though it was so muddy and gross, like disgusting. I mean, the other day I pulled some shoes that I wore that day. They still have mud in them. Sand. I was literally like still dumping sand out of them.
Oh, my goodness.
It was ridiculous. Like, even the trackers weren't working because our stuff was so full of mud. Whenever you went through the timing mats, that's why the whole situation with
It said you DNF'd.
I DNF'd, but it was just because there wasn't tracking.
Okay.
So
Yep.
Yeah, I'm
forgot
like,
about
I
that.
know
That
you
was
didn't
wild.
DNF. I looked at you with your medal.
yeah,
What did you place?
6th
Nice.
place. Yeah.
Very nice. All right, Andrea, what do you have? Do you have anything else to add to that? Like, really needs to be said about that race and her?
Well, I feel like the mud says it all. And I think she posted pictures of her feet and legs, and like it was just crazy. I remember even like having to wash my water bottles on your shoes. Remember?
Oh
to
yeah,
get
when
them
I came to do
untied?
my only one shoe change that I did, only
Yeah.
one shoe, one sock change, no blisters.
Nothing. Her feet were looking
Nothing.
amazing.
I couldn't believe it myself. I was
Freak.
really afraid when I took those shoes off. I was like, oh my God, I don't even want to. Remember, I was like, I don't even want to know. Let's just get this done. Nothing. One shoe change, one sock change. I have no idea. It's the
Literally, I
Injinji
took her
socks, I
shoes and-
think. I think it's the Injinjis that
I
does
blistered.
it for me.
I agree with you, girl. I agree.
I am going to switch back to them, though.
I mean, I did. The only thing I did was Vaseline, but that was only when I began the race because I knew it was going to be wet. Wet. So I was like, I'll Vaseline my toes and then put my Injinji socks. But when we did that sock change or anything, we didn't put anything on them. I was like, what's the point? We're already like...
And you can buy Ninjinji socks at Stonebridge Running.
Yes, you can, because I bought them here before.
All right. Grace is in the background laughing. All right. What else? Anything else about before we move on past Rocky?
It was
When's the
great. I
registration
loved
open
it.
up?
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know either. I mean,
It's got to be open by now.
Oh, it's open right now.
I was going to say, it's got to be open by
and
now.
if
'cause
you're
it's in
listening
January.
and you're wanting to know, it occurs Saturday, February 1st is when it starts. And if you want to run it, it's in Huntsville, Texas, correct? Mm-hmm. And
There's lots of cute little Airbnbs right next to the park. The one that I stayed in, it was just an RV. It was only 3 miles away from the park. It was the perfect location. Perfect. 3 miles away.
I can't find the price.
Oh, it was really fairly priced too.
I'm just going to share that, but it doesn't.
Yes.
Oh, registration fee for the 100 mile is $265. That is cheap. 100K is $220.
Say you just do the 100 miler.
I don't see anything below 100K.
that's on a different day.
Okay.
They have that the weekend after or weekend before.
Okay. All right.
Oh yeah, I think
All right,
it was
now
the
I found
weekend after.
So $265 for 100 miler and $220 for 100K. There you go, kids. There you go. Yeah. That is
I
very
have
nice.
a pop-up tent I can let you borrow.
So I guess I'd have to do the 100K then, huh?
Ooh, that would be awesome.
So I'm going to pause
Yeah.
real quick here. not pause,
Okay.
but we're going to just pause this conversation. I am getting an update right now on Matthias Kemmerman, who is currently running the Cruel Jewel 100, which has got 33,000 feet of gain. It is a very hard one. He knew this was going to be really hard. He thought this was going to be one of the toughest races he has ever completed. He's doing it without a pacer. He wanted to do it without a crew at one point in time, but then he decided, I better not do that. I think his wife also said, you're not going to do that. And she's out there with him, making sure he's okay. And kudos to her and good job to her. The one update I had of him, he was at the 24.6 mile mark. I believe that was at about 3:30 p.m. And now they're messaging nothing.
Nothing.
He left Wilscott at about 5:30 and waiting at, can't pronounce it, Skina Gap now. And I won't see him for another 20 miles. I think it's just because Lynn Tiansen is wanting to know all the stops because she doesn't want to get online and look. So, but he is doing good. He, that 24 mile mark that he wanted to get at, he had planned for that to be about 5 hours. He told his wife, I'll be there in about 5 hours. No, he was there at 3 hours and 45 minutes. I think
He needs to slow down.
No, I think he underestimated himself.
Oh.
Looking at other...
I mean, his training has been fantastic.
Yeah, and looking at previous finishers, I think he's going to do better than he expected. That's what I'm going to say, and I said it on the podcast, so oh shit.
Yeah. It's going to happen.
Yeah, I do think he's going to do finish.
He's such a strong runner.
Yeah,
I mean,
and yeah, he's done a lot of hill repeats. Okay, enough about Matthias, but good luck to my co-host right now.
Yes. Woo, go Matthias.
We are
Get
doing,
it.
I said we would do an update on him during the podcast, so we're thinking of you. Okay. All right, so Rocky Raccoon, check it out. If you know Andrea, there you go. I think we're thinking about a girls' trip.
Definitely. I'm in.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like 60 miles in February might be okay. I don't know. That's kind of close to May before I do
I'll be honest, and plane tickets out there were not bad at all either. Southwest, good deals.
Yeah, I don't want to drive out there anymore. I'm done driving.
No, I would, yeah. Because even we flew into Houston. We drove into Houston. It was only like an hour away from where we stayed. So it wasn't bad at all.
I'll have to think about it because if I think about like February and then my race is in May, that's kind of...
You need some heat acclimation. We got to go to Texas.
I need heat acclimation and cold acclimation, so I could have both because it'll be hot during the day.
But see, you can do the cold here. We got to go do the hot.
So now they're on podcast. I just said that I did officially sign up for the Cocodona, but not the 250, the 125. So I chickened out.
Good. No, that's okay.
Yeah. Well, don't give me that face, Andrea.
No, 125 is plenty.
I'm like, what? That's amazing.
I know.
Well, I mean, I've never done more than 100, so there's that.
So there you go.
So nothing like running I think it's a little over 125, so maybe I'll run.
I'm sure it's probably like 130.
So I'm thinking that's 5 marathons, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And
it's going to be amazing.
I have asked Andrea to pace me officially.
Woo!
Yeah. So sorry.
Oh.
You know, you get 70 miles for pacing.
What?
Yeah. So I have to have more than Andrea because I'm not going to be like, hey, you want to pace me for 70 miles? Well. She's going to be like, you see that mountain? Look really close over there and then shove me over it.
Or you're going to be like, I can't handle it anymore. Shut up.
So that'll be fun. All right. Let's move on. How to say it again?
Wausa.
Wausa.
Yeah.
That's a really weird name.
Yeah.
Was it good?
Yeah, it was good.
Okay. Wausa is weird, right? Like, I don't know how to say it. It's weird, but it's unique in the fact that, explain that to us.
It's a last man standing. So you run 4.16 mile on the top of every hour till there's only one person standing.
Can you repeat that? You do
4.16 miles at the top of every hour.
Okay.
So if you come in the hour and you have 15 minutes to spare, well, then you just wait until the next top of the hour, and then you do your 4.16.
Okay. These are little loops.
Yes.
All right. And you have an hour to do it.
Yep. And you have an hour to run 4.16 miles.
And how much elevation in each of those loops? Because I did find that out.
It was a lot.
Yes.
It was a lot. It was really more than, I mean, I knew it was a lot, but like I was like, you can't think about that. It is what it is. And
do you know what it is, Andrea?
I hold up. I'm looking.
500?
I was going to say closer to 6.
Maybe it was 5 something. Yeah.
600 feet of gain each loop.
Oh, that's crazy. Yeah. You're crazy. But you know what? That's what we love about you.
Yeah.
We're all crazy a little bit.
Badass. Woo.
That is very badass. And I'm just going to do a spoiler right now. You got the top female.
Yeah.
And you didn't just get like top female. I saw you were a top female covering 83.34 miles, significantly ahead of the second place female who had 62.5 miles. 62.5 miles. That is an incredible achievement.
Oh, well, thank you.
So, I mean, you had a strong lead on the second female. That's not just like, oh, I kind of, just got by on that. You had a very heavy lead on her. So,
I know, but I'm still disappointed.
What?
I think I could have gone more, but I just let it get to my head, honestly. I'll be honest. My body had more in it. Like,
Okay.
I felt weak, but I think it was mentally weak.
Do you think maybe it was elevation? Were you just tired?
I lost track of my fueling and my hydration. I did.
Yeah. So yeah,
because
you probably
it's
were
so
tired.
different.
Yeah.
Because you're like, 4 miles, I don't need to drink as much. 4 miles, I don't need to eat as much. And
Did you see my post the other day about spoiled milk and how we learn basically?
Yes, and that's what I did. Like I've been thinking about all of like that. I relied too much on just let's see what happens.
Yeah.
Like I'm normally like that. I have everything labeled, everything organized, but I felt like I couldn't do that with this race because of the layout of it. Mm-hmm. Like when you have an aid station stop, okay, well, I need to have enough fuel to get me from this aid station to the next. Mm-hmm. This one, it was like, it's just 4 miles. I'll just come back and eat when I get to my spot. And,
Yeah.
So.
But you learn.
I did. I certainly did. And I feel like I need just to have everything set out for me in order to succeed at it.
Are you going to go back again?
I
hear a redemption.
Like I said, I wasn't to, but then I was like, why not? It was hard and it was challenging, but it made me think a lot of, it's a new kind of way of racing. Like it really is. I mean, like it's like it's like the clock. Mm-hmm. It's telling you what to run. Mm-hmm. You're not running your race. It's the clock that's kind of letting you know. Mm-hmm. And I think that's the mental game that I lost.
Okay.
I came in that last loop with 4 minutes to spare. Mm-hmm. In all reality, 4 minutes was plenty of time for me to go get my hydration and my food. But mentally, I was like, 4 minutes, that's not enough. And if I would have needed 5 more minutes, if it would have been any regular race, it would have been like, whatever, I'll just catch them up later because, you don't have a time cutoff. But you know what I mean? It's a different mental game for that. And I just think I wasn't prepared for that. When I saw those 4 minutes, I freaked out literally. And I was like, I'm done. Like, this is it.
So do you think that what was the biggest challenge of it with? So you're saying you think you let your nutrition and hydration slack, but what, like, was that what mentally got you, or was there more to it than just that?
I think I was just tired, and I did things differently than I normally do when I race. Usually I have like a hydration vest with me, and I always carry my phone. For this one, I was like, it's just a 4 mile loop. I don't need to carry a hydration vest. I just had my handheld. And then I was like, I don't really need my phone. It's just 4 loops. I'll just leave it here.
Okay.
So when the time came that I needed my phone for music, I didn't have it. And my brain was so fogged up that I didn't think, just pick it up, put it on, and go.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And then the thought of, oh my God, by the time I go look for my phone, by the time I look for my belt and put it on, that's going to take me forever. And then I'm going to miss my time. Mm-hmm. So then every time I would just like, I'll just get it next time. And I'll just get it next time. Mm-hmm. And then by the time I really needed it, I think it was too late.
So each race is, supposed to be a learning experience.
Oh, this one definitely was.
Of course. Yeah, that's why we challenge ourselves and do different races and types so we can learn and tell people or implement it in the next one. So I feel like you're saying you failed, but everything you're saying is so many like, whoa, look what you just learned. Look what you just learned. Look what you
it's
just
true.
learned.
And I keep telling myself that. But, like inside, I'm like, why did I quit?
Yeah.
Just a quitter. You should have just went.
If we had a thing of how many people said, I wish I could have, would have on a race.
Yeah. And you know what? And that's something I told myself. I'm like, I'm not leaving this course unless somebody like just kicks me out of the course. Mm-hmm. And I kept telling myself that. But then in the end, I just I couldn't. Mm-hmm. I just didn't. Like, I let the mental game win. Because I was physically fine. Like,
does that piss you off?
Very much so.
Okay.
It does. It really does. Because I'm like, why? Like, I felt fine. Yeah, I mean, you're tired. Mm-hmm. You feel aches and pains. But really, the minute that I stopped, guess what? All of the pain went away. And I wasn't left limping. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Oh, and I think that's what hurt the most. That the minute I said I'm done and I rang that bell, like, it sunk in. Like, you just made a big mistake. Like, why didn't you just do that? And I felt it, and I was just like,
You are a strong woman. Because I like the fact that you say, that pisses me off.
It did. And I knew it. Like, the minute I rang that bell, I was like, no.
I think when we get too comfortable with things, that's a problem.
Yeah.
Right? You know what I mean? Or, you know, and I think it's great to have that fire right now. I think that's a great thing that you are that way and you're learning because you're like, no, F that. That pisses me off. I'm learning from it and I'm gonna flip the script here.
I know, because then I you know, like, oh, like it's even now I think about it a lot, and I think about mines and how mines left me, and I was like, I gave it all for that race. Like, that's the feeling I want to get again. Like, I'm totally spent. I am done. Like, my body's drained. I cannot walk another step, and I didn't feel like that when I finished Wausa. Like, I didn't feel that. Like, when I said no, I'm done.
So,
like,
let's flip over to, you just said Mines. What happened at Mines? Like,
I just think I was really challenged, and that last loop was just hard.
Oh, okay.
And I know I couldn't quit, and, you know, my pacer didn't let me quit. And she's like, this is it. You're just like, why? Just walk. But, you know, when I finished that, you know, when I crossed that line, I was like, oh, my God, I'm done. Like, this really is done, you know? And I was exhausted and tired, and I knew I couldn't go anymore.
yeah.
You know, like, that's the feeling I
You did amazing there.
you know, I did not feel when I finished Wausa, and that's what ticked me off.
Okay.
That's how I knew you didn't give it all that your body could have.
Okay.
Did you have a goal in your mind mentally for Wausa other than obviously you want to try to win? Or did you have a
My goal was to do
or-
24 hours.
All right.
But here's the thing. Like, I got to the 20-hour mark, but, like, my brain wasn't functioning like it didn't, like, it did. I didn't understand what 20 hours meant in my head. Like, the 20th lap, they're like, yeah, you're in for 20. This is your 20th lap. And in my head, I'm like, I don't understand what that means. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I wasn't thinking it of as 20 hours. That means if I just run four more laps, I can get to my 24 that I wanted. But I was so foggy that, like, it didn't make sense. Like, I couldn't comprehend what lap 20 meant.
That's so interesting.
Isn't that, I
have you
couldn't.
struggled with fog before in other races?
Brain fog, yeah.
Yeah, no, just this one. And
That's
I think
so
this has, like, blocked me from, like, problem solving.
And do you think this is the race you've done the worst for nutrition and hydration?
No.
Okay.
No. But I could tell, I think that's the problem that I had, that I was out of energy.
For that many hours, though.
Yes, for that many hours.
For that many,
so.
for that many hours to have that poor nutrition to hit that mark to get the fog that bad is what I'm asking.
I think so. And I just think I just relied on the fact that it was only 4 miles. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that was in my brain. It's only 4 miles. Because I knew if I just said that, it'd be like, oh, yeah, 4 miles. I got to the aid station. Oh, yeah, 4 miles.
But your body said, Yeah.
Like, I just think it was my head. But maybe because I was lacking the nutrition to get, you know, like.
Yeah, your brain needs that.
Yeah.
Kind of important.
Yeah.
And we kind of start to shut down a little bit and get a little wah.
And it was, like, different because where we had set up, like, the aid station was right behind us in a building. So near the end, I wasn't even going into the aid station. I was just going straight to my camp.
Okay.
So, like, the things that I would normally take, like Coke at night or late in the race, like, I didn't go buy it, so I wasn't going to grab it. Like, my brain couldn't even think about getting that.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like, it just wasn't even thinking that far. Like,
outside, out of mind?
Yeah. And that's another thing that I learned. I'm like, for me, I need to have everything laid out. And I didn't. Like, it was in my tub. So if I wanted something, I had to take the lid out and then, like, pick and choose.
Okay.
Lesson learned.
It is.
Lay your shit out. But it was a great race. I mean, it was challenging, and the support there was awesome. The RDs were amazing, and everybody else there was so good too. Okay. Like all the other runners. Oh, there was a point where I don't even remember what loop it was. I picked up my fuel. I put it in my little handheld. Never zipped the thing.
Oh.
So when I pulled out my gel, there was no gel in it.
Oh no.
Oh.
So I was like, oh my God, you know, and I was like, whatever, you know, I'll make it. But then I felt it like 2 miles in. I was like, oh my God, I'm I'm really hitting. I started walking. And then I asked, like, luckily there was 2 guys behind me. I'm like, hey, do you guys happen to have any spare food? I'm begging for food here. And they're like, yeah, hold on, let me check. And then a guy pulled out a cis gel, and then another guy pulled out a bag of gummy chews or something. And they're here, like, here you go. I was like, oh my God, thank you. And they were so sweet and gave me their food because I lost my food. So then the next loop, they're like, all right, let's go on the hunt for Lily's food because she dropped it. So it was fun. But I think at that point I was the only one with all the men. So that was super sweet. And they tried, I think, to stay with me, but they were just so much faster. But they hung out and it was fun.
That was nice.
It was nice, yeah.
So I was going to ask what strategy you had going into this, but did you really, or did you not have did you not really have much strategy because this is so different to you? Because you're like, oh, it's just a small loop. I'll just
my strategy was just, I have my stuff there. Whatever I feel like I need, I'm just going to pick up and go.
And so next time you will have more of a strategy?
I will have more And I can see and that was something me and Matt Hassan talked about, like, why is everybody wearing vests? Like, everybody was wearing a vest. And we're like, just the 4-mile loop. Why is everybody wearing vests?
To stay fast.
To stay fast, yeah. To carry extra stuff that you don't think you need later. And I didn't even have a vest with me. Like, I just had a belt, that I was going to put extra gels and my phone and stuff.
Did they have crew, any of them?
They all had crew.
To stay fast.
To stay fast near the end. Okay. And I think that's also what I would have been more helpful.
Okay. You didn't have a crew?
Well, Ephraim was there, but, it was late and it was night. He'd been dealing with the girls. So, it's different. Like, he was very helpful. He always had my food and my water ready. But, yeah.
Okay.
But I think, all of them, the other 5 men that stayed had, at least 3 or 4 people with them as crew.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, the guy that won, I think, had, 4 people. Yeah. But...
Crew is important.
Crew is so important. Yeah.
To me, I think crew is just about everything. That's why whenever I post, I say "good job, crew," and I don't.
Oh my God, yeah. Because they do so much for you.
Yeah, I see.
Ephraim was always having to run. I forgot something. Go get that. Oh, and that was the other thing with the course. The only time you could get aid was at the aid station. There's so many parts of the course that you could see people, but you couldn't get anything from them. If you forgot it, you forgot it.
Oh,
yeah. So, that made it interesting because you're like, oh, yeah, well, my crew can just give it to me when I see them in 2 miles. No, you couldn't do that.
Oh, boy.
Which was, different, which whatever, you knew that coming in. But, sometimes you do rely on that. Dang it, I forgot, my headlamp or whatever. Oh, I just get it whenever I see my next, someone. But... So, yeah.
Sounds awesome, though, really.
It was. It was a really cool experience. It really was. And I said I wasn't going to go back, but I think I am.
But you did manage to keep a strong, like I said, very strong lead, 20 miles ahead of the second female. How did you manage to keep that?
I have no idea. Because I just kind of told myself, well, one more loop. Let's just do one more loop.
You're a fast runner.
That one more loop thing.
Right? Can we just say you're just a fast runner, too?
Oh,
that helps.
Thank you.
So, very good athlete.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, I have some questions, and they have some questions. The people
have spoken.
Are corn stars. All right, I want to know what goes on in your mind during these 100-mile races. It's a big thing to overcome. What's going on in your head during that you're out there?
Honestly, I think I just do a lot of positive talk.
Okay,
I can do this. I've been training for this. I've done it before, and I just think, you are out here, you're lucky to be out here. There's so many people that wish to be out here that don't even imagine being out here. How lucky am I to be able to do this? Yes, I'm in pain, but, I'm still lucky. I still get to be here and do this, even though it hurts. And I'm not the only one that's hurting. I look around and everybody else is hurting.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I try to do a lot of positive self-talk.
Okay. I like that.
I try. It doesn't always work, but that's the goal. Just to keep it positive.
From being with you, only the one race, I'm sure other people have been with you. You did do a lot of positive self-talk.
I talk to myself a lot when I'm running. I'm like, okay, you got this. Okay, just jump over this thing. Oh, yep, we can do it. Oh, yeah, it hurts, but you know what? It's all right. And I talk out loud. I have to talk aloud to my head. I think it just distracts me. Like, I don't know.
I don't think people realize how powerful the mind is. And even if you're like, F that mud, it's like after a while, like, you know, your mind's playing that. And nothing against you, Jen. F this rocks. I get that. But I feel like there's only so much of that you can say before your mind really starts playing games with yourself.
Yeah.
So the more positive talk you can have, like, oh, it's only one more time. It's only this many. You know what I mean? Trying to spin it a little bit. Our minds are so powerful.
They are. And I'm still, like I said, that's what got me. My mind got me, you know, Wausa. Like, I just let it get to me. And that's what annoys me. Like, it pisses me off. Because I knew better. Like, why?
You know what I love to hear is that you are literally like, so many people and are just like, well, you know, this happened. It wasn't my fault. And this is why I failed. And you're like,
excuses.
Right, an excuse.
Well, I'm pissed off because I know it's my fault. Like, there's nobody else to blame but me. Like, who am I going to blame? I was the one that was running. I was the one that quit.
I'm with Andrea in the fact I think we're both trying to say we have mad respect for this.
Yeah,
you know,
totally,
like there's nobody else to blame.
Yeah, but it's too often we hear all excuses, and it's like, no,
I can't blame the course. It is what it is. Everybody else was running it. You know what I mean? Like the weather. Why am I going to blame the weather? Even though it did suck, you know, for a little bit. But it's like I quit. Like I was the one that said no.
Yeah.
It's not like anybody told me, well, you better not, you know, or oh, maybe you shouldn't. You know, it was me. I listened to my head and I said, okay, I'm done.
Yeah, well, it's always us in the end. Even when something bad happens, it's still us because we didn't overcome it. So
that's why I'm like angry.
It's a hard pill to swallow.
It is. But like you said, I have been like learning a lot from it, just thinking. And when I get into that bad situation, I'm like, you know what? No, forget it. Stop. It is what it is. And it happened. And now I know better. Like I can't torture myself like that. Like to thinking of this mistake.
And I'm going to go back and I'm going to kick ass again.
Maybe.
No, positive talk. I am.
I am going to go back and I am going to try again.
I like it. Lynn has a few questions.
Oh,
she
Lynn.
sent. Yeah. All right. So do you prefer 100 milers versus any other distances?
I do prefer the 100 mile.
I have.
It lets me run slow.
I love it.
That's what I say.
Right? Because I'm like, oh my God. Like 5Ks, 10Ks.
You can sprint.
Like, oh God, no.
Yeah.
Like I want to puke. Like it hurts because, you know, like I have to run fast. It's only 3 miles. And then you got 100 miles. You're like, I'll be here for a while. You just might as well get comfortable.
Yeah, get comfortable.
I really do.
Yeah.
I like the 50 mile. I like the 100 mile. I like the 100K. I like the long distance.
I hated marathon and love this.
Yeah.
Like it's just
Same.
weird.
Same.
I don't know.
One marathon and that's it. No more. I'm done.
Same. One and done.
One and done. And it was awful.
Same. I hated it.
Awful. I cried. I cried so bad when I was done. I said never again.
Same. It was Chicago Marathon. It was terrible.
Yep. Chicago Marathon.
Same.
My sister caught it on video. She's like, how was it? I'm like, it was awful.
I'm never doing that again. Nope. And everyone said, you will. You wait. Guess what? No, I'm not. I refuse.
No, it was hard.
All right. Willie Mangrum. He wants to know, how do you keep going? Because it seems like you never take a break from running. Like, how do you like the Energizer Bunny?
No. I like to run. I do. I just like to run. I like being around the community and just seeing what I can do because I never had anything before. Like I never did sports as a kid. I never did, as a teenager. So now, I mean, I found running at the age of 38, 39, and it was like, wow, I actually found something that I love and I enjoy and I can do. I felt like, oh, this is something I can do. Okay. So I think that's what gets me motivated and going because I found the love of something for something. Like kids.
You're addicted.
Yeah. Like you go through your high school and you do volleyball and baseball, but I never had any of that because I was never good at anything. And I didn't have the financial support either from my parents. We were a big family. My dad was the only one that worked. So we didn't have that. So I never got to experience any of it. So when I found this and I loved it and I enjoyed it, and I got, I saw I was kind of good at it, at some point. And then I was like, yeah, I like this. So I think that's what keeps me going, that I found something that I could do. And I enjoy doing it. Like, it doesn't seem painful. you know, or like a chore.
It's not work.
Well, sometimes it does, but
Yeah, like
that's
what
with
about
anything.
What about those 4 or 5 a.m. runs I see you post?
Oh, I've always been a morning person, so that doesn't bother me. I think for me, it'd be harder to work out in the afternoon just because I've always been a morning person.
I don't like evening
Either. Like, by the time I get home and I have, the girls, they have homework and dinner and it's like I'm done. Mm-hmm. So I like getting up in the morning and then I'm not messing up with their schedule at all. They're sleeping when I'm out there and then the roads are quiet and it's just me in my head. Like I think of the day, like what do I have to do today? Like I just think through it and that's how I plan my day.
I'm going to skip down over here so hopefully I don't mess myself up because you said the girls and that leads me to remember Corby had a question. You have, with 2 young children, how do you jungle? Jungle? Man.
Jungle.
I didn't even drink I don't drink anymore, really. This is terrible. How do you juggle running and regular life, with the 2 young girls? And how will that have to change as they get older?
I don't know.
I know. I'm like, how do you answer that?
I don't know. I get up at 4 every morning. That's how I do it.
Okay.
I mean, I get up at 4, start my strength workout 4:30 or whatever if I can, and then go out for my run. Mm-hmm. And then I come home, get myself ready, get the girls ready, but then I'm in bed by 9. Mm-hmm. I have to, like I put the girls to bed at 8 and then I have that 1 hour just to get emails or things ready for the next day at work. And then I'm in bed by 9:30, the latest, super latest.
I'm in bed at 8.
Yeah. I mean, I wish I could be in bed at 8, but usually by 9:30,
When I say bed at 8, that means I'm crawling in at 8, but that also means, you look at your phone, you do a little scrolling. Yeah. And then you're like, okay, I'm tired. And it's like 8:39. But yeah, I like to be up at 4:30.
Once the girls, I don't know, get into sports now, and I'm sure my older one is now. She's going to be in 6th grade. So now they have more sports opportunities at school. Mm-hmm. I'm sure some of my training will have to be done in the afternoon. Like while she's at practice or something, I'll probably end up running around, the field or something.
I know somebody does that. Their kids are at sports and they're doing a run around the baseball field while they're...
Yeah.
I've done many miles running around baseball diamonds.
That's exactly who I was referring to.
So I feel like that's going to have to change in that way right now. Like my other one's still young. She's not really into sports yet. So it's going to get harder, I'm sure.
All right. What do you enjoy most about these ultra distances?
Oh, the way my body just feels when I'm done. Honestly, like you're just spent. Yeah. And you're just like, oh my God, how did I just go through that? Mm-hmm. And the highs and the lows are just, you just don't know when to expect them. Like you're like, I'm high up in a cloud. And then the next minute you're like, what the heck am I doing? Why did I do this to myself? But I just think the feelings that you get through it all and how they just have to be together. Mm-hmm. Like you have to have a lot of high and then in order to get your low, because, it's just the feeling of being out there and the people. And sometimes I just think about the people that are out there that are really struggling when I'm not. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, God, I wish I could give you my strength right now because I know what it feels like, You see that. You see it in their face. You see it in their stride. And it's like, man, like you can do it. Like you can. You just push a little bit more and you'll get past it. Mm-hmm. I don't know. It just amazes me, like what people go through.
Yeah.
The pain that they go through. And I think that's what feeds my soul sometimes. Like if they got through that, like why can't I? Like,
I love it.
Yeah.
I think this was meant to be a funny question here by Tiger 10 Miler, who says, what's your favorite 10-mile trail race?
The one and only Tiger 10. It's the only one that I've done that 10 miles, and it's amazing. 2 years in a row.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert, I won't be there this year.
Oh. Sorry, Remhoff.
Sorry. I'll be battling the Barkley Fall Classic.
Oh, yes.
Ooh,
I'll be having more.
How excited are you for that?
Scared.
That's what's exciting.
Yeah, that's
if it scares you, then you did right?
Yeah, yep.
It should scare you slightly when you sign up, right? I love that when you hit register and you're like, oh shit, what did I just do?
I might think, I was like, oh, what are the odds? I'm never going to get in. Like, really, what are the odds? Oh boy, here you go.
Yeah.
I think I was sweating when I sent that email. Like,
Grace is over there. She can attest to that. I did that in this store here recently, and I hit register, and I looked at her and go, fuck.
You're like, oh, yeah, I just did that.
And she just went, hee. Like, can't wait to go. I'm like, yeah, it's the fun part. All right. That's awesome. Parkley, that's going to be exciting.
It's going to be fun.
All right. What do you eat during these long races to keep your energy
Oh
up?
my God, everything. I love
That's
food.
what I know. I kind of got a glimpse of that. So you're an eater.
I am. I love to eat mashed potato pancakes. Are my ultimate favorite.
Okay.
Oh my God. I think at Wausa I had a total like 25 pancakes that I remember eating. Then I lost count after that.
Yeah.
But I do pancakes. I do peanut butter on bread with banana. I don't know. The jelly just doesn't agree with me when I'm running and doing it.
Peanut butter and jelly?
Yeah, it's like peanut butter on bread or peanut butter on banana, but I can't do the jelly.
Okay.
But I eat a lot of ramen, Coke later on in the race.
I wonder if it's the pectin in jelly.
I don't know, something. I just can't do it. What else do I do? A lot of bananas, all the fruit. I like more of the salty. I'm not into the sweet. I'll do saltine, like the...
Do you eat avocado?
Yes, I have started eating avocado on a flour tortilla.
Because I saw somebody said Lily's got a bunch of avocados, and I was like,
I did that for
avocado?
Mine's avocado on
Yeah,
a
it was at
flour
Mine's.
tortilla. Yep, and I'll do the pickles with cream cheese on a flour tortilla. Those always hit the spot.
I had those at Skunk Ape, I think, last year.
Yes, and I did have some. So I always make some of those. I did rice balls.
Okay.
So those are a hit and miss. I don't know, but I do a lot of more of the salty stuff,
Okay.
crackers and things like that.
Do you take salt tabs ever?
I do, but like I said, I think that's where I'm having a hard time. I think at one point I have figured it out, but now it's like I don't think it's working. Whatever I was doing before is not working anymore.
Well, our bodies are constantly flipping and changing.
Yeah,
That's
so
fun.
I've noticed that what I was doing before is not working, so I need to figure that out.
I'm
So
sorry. Yeah, because
somebody
if-
please give me some tips because I'm swelling up bad. Like my hands swell up, my belly.
Oh, belly bloat.
Yes. That's something I noticed after Wausa.
Okay.
So was it Sunday? Yeah, Sunday. I woke up and I was like so bloated, like so bloated, and I couldn't figure, and I still can't figure out why. Like my stomach, my arms, my legs were just so swollen, and it took like Monday. Still, I woke up the same way. It didn't go away till like Tuesday. But I think it's like my hydration. I just wasn't hitting it right. But
Well, definitely could be. Kidneys could have been pissed.
yeah, probably. So yeah, but I eat all the food.
Okay. Do you have any go-to hydration, like favorite drink?
I've been doing some fiddling around, but I would usually do the gnarly,
Okay.
just because that's what I started with. But now I've been doing more of Scratch.
Okay. I like Scratch.
Yeah, I like Scratch and some Element.
Oh, okay.
I do that.
All right.
I haven't tried Element a lot while I'm racing. I do the Scratch just because I don't know. I feel like I need more of the calories because it has more calories than Element doesn't have any.
Quick question. Going back to, I just thought of something. My brain just flipped. After Wausa, did you take any salt tabs or anything after your race?
After the race, no. I didn't.
Sometimes.
Oh. But I did it during, but it must have, I don't know. Maybe it's the opposite. Maybe I'm taking too much. I thought about that too. I'm like, maybe it's too much.
It's a hard balance. And
Yeah.
sometimes you like,
And it's the same symptoms whether you take enough or not enough. So
Isn't
it's
it
like, how do
terrible?
you tell?
I know I've seen where people like keep pushing salt and I'm like, it's too much. They're like, well, their hands are swollen. I'm like, because it's too much. You know?
Yeah, and how do you?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It kind of the person, the runner needs to be able to learn and feel.
Yeah, I probably need to do some testing or something like.
I have to have salt tabs afterwards.
Okay.
Yeah. Dan Blumhoff would like to know what your favorite race moment is.
When I'm done.
No, do you have a favorite race moment? Something that you've been out there and it was just really special or fun?
I think I've had a couple, and they haven't really been necessarily. Well, one of them was for me, and the other one wasn't. The first one I think I experienced was when I paced Dufresne for his 100-miler at Pot. Like it was. I mean, when you took over, like that was amazing because I knew if you had not taken him, I wasn't going to be any good. Like I hadn't slept, and like, I'm not.
You were
gonna-
tired.
I was so tired.
Yeah.
And then I think it was on his final loop. It was so cold. I was just so done. Like I wasn't prepared, and he was just suffering. And my hands were freezing. Like I could not feel them. And I even asked Mike, I'm like, hey, do you have any hand warmers? And he's like, no, I don't have any. I was like, like, what am I going to do? Like, I knew I wasn't going to, it was not going to be good. And then one of the racers that was running 150, he's like, I have some. I was like, oh my God, you do? He's like, yeah, just hold on. Let me run back to my tent and get them. Literally, he ran back to his tent.
My gosh.
And got them. And his name is Gabe. I found out this year because I saw him there again at Pot. And I was like, I just couldn't thank him enough. Like, he had no idea, like, how much that meant to me. Like, he was just my trail angel. Like, he had no clue. Like,
you do suffer from really cold hands.
Yes,
bad.
It was awful. Like, I wanted to cry. Like, they were at the tingling hurt feeling. Like, that's how bad they were. And when he brought them to me, I was like, I literally, I had tears in my eyes. I'm like, I cannot. I mean, like, you have no idea. He's like, like, to him, it was like, oh, nothing, whatever. We have 1 million of them in my pack,
That's the trail runners for you.
And then I never saw him again. And then when I went to Pot this year, like, I was like, oh my God, you gave me those hand warmers. But he's like, what?
Who are you?
Yeah. I was like, last year you were running 150 and you gave me, he's like, oh yeah, I remember. And then I'm like, what is, and then I asked him his name, and his name was Gabe. And I was like, oh my God, you were my trail angel. Like, I cannot.
Good job, Gabe.
Yes. He was amazing. And I always remember that when I'm there suffering, especially in the cold. I'm like, if it wouldn't have been for him, like, it would have been awful for me. Like, I would have kept walking and doing my thing, but it
helped your moment with Ephraim.
Yeah.
That's
so
amazing.
yeah, that was another one. That was a good one. And then the other one was when I ran Crimea River.
Oh, that's right. You did Crimea River, which is one of the hardest races in our area.
Yes. And we had a horrible storm that, like, thunder, lightning.
Is that the one that took out?
Yeah. Yeah, they made us, that made us stop. They stopped the race, and then we could start the following day. Yeah, well, I was out there in the middle of this blizzard thing, that whatever it was, that horrible thing. My light went out. My headlamp went out. I was out there in the middle of nowhere. I had no idea where the heck it was because it was so horrible. And luckily, I had me and a girl were together because we found each other. We were like the only girls there. And then a guy that was ahead of us, and he kind of just went on, like, he didn't care. And I lost my headlamp, and, it went out, and I was like, oh my God, what am I going to do? And I was like, please don't leave me. I'm like begging. I'm like, please don't leave me. My headlamp, I can't see. And then the phone, I couldn't get the phone to work either. And then she stayed with me, and she's like, don't worry, we'll stop. And she was able to get me a new headlamp that she had in her pack. And I'm just like, and I just could never, I was like, oh my God, I don't know what, how to thank you, how to ever, pay you back for that. Because if she hadn't been there, I don't know what I would have done. Like, I would have probably just sat somewhere and cried until somebody found me, because there was no way I was going to get out of there. Yeah. In the rain, and it was a single track. I had no idea, in the dark. It was like the middle of the night. But I think those were those are the moments that I never forget. Never. And every time I run, those come back to me. Like, when I'm struggling and I'm suffering, I'm like, these people, there's good people out there. And I know if I really need it, somebody will help me. But
so you're saying your favorite moments are the fact that people on the trails are so amazing, kind, and helpful.
Yeah. So, and without expecting anything in return. Like, that's the thing. You know what I mean? They're not like, remember that one time I gave you that? Or,
So speaking of, my daughter, youngest daughter, she likes the trails. She's not a trail runner. I don't think that's not an impossible thing that could happen someday.
Yeah.
I exposed her. She also has autism. And so I've exposed her to our trail community recently, to the Pineton community, and she took pictures. She loved.
Oh yeah.
She loved
it. She was there last year.
Yeah.
Yes, that's right.
And then she went to Hennepin, and she wore shoes that I told her she should not wear all day. And her feet were miserable, you guys. Miserable, because it's a long day of taking pictures.
And she had boots
Hennepin,
on, right?
Yeah, at Hennepin 50. And so she was in a lot of pain, and I don't know how it happened, but Lily gave her a pair of Crocs to wear and said, here, hold on, and gives her a pair of these yellow Crocs. I think they were yellow. And So she puts these on. She was so much. She goes like, "Who is that?
Who's that girl?
And why would she just let me use her shoes? Like, how does she know I'm going to give them back?" I'm like, what she knows, and and that's just the trail community. And my daughter is like, "These are the most kindest people I have ever met in my entire
they really
life."
Are.
And her words were, "They make me feel so safe to be around them." And I was just like, "Oh my gosh!" I'm like, as a mom,
And
I was
that's the
teary-eyed.
kind of people, right?
Yeah, I was teary-eyed because she said, "I don't think they're going to make fun of me for my quirkiness. I don't think they're going to, and I'm like, "Oh no, if they heard somebody else make fun of you, it would be a problem."
It would be a problem, yeah.
So I'm like, and so it's just, and she can't wait to go back to Pinedom. She can't wait to go back to Hennepin.
That's so awesome.
Yeah, and I just, so hearing you say these are your favorite moments, and then.
Because they are, because you're like,
yeah.
just the way people are, and they don't expect anything back. Like, they just do it out of their heart. I'm like, there is good people
And
out
that's why
there.
we're so annoying when we're trying to get our non-running friends to join the trail community.
Yeah.
Because we're like, we want you to join the happiness.
Yes, that's so true. And they're just like, stop.
All right. What's next in your running journey?
I don't have anything going on right now until I do the Barclays. And then after that, we have Marquette 50, which is a beautiful race.
that
Oh
looks
my God, that
amazing.
is beautiful. I mean, that has a lot of elevation. I did it once before, so we're going back because it's just beautiful. And then Mines is playing again.
Oh, I'll see you
have a-
there. I'm doing the
A bone to
100K.
pick.
Do you?
Yeah.
What's your bone?
I tripped and I twisted my ankle at mile 5 point something.
It looked broken to me.
It was bad. When I
that's
took
so
my shoe
awful.
off, it was so swollen. So I just want to experience it again without a swollen ankle for 100 miles. So, yeah.
Okay.
But that's about
Sounds
it.
awesome.
Is there a specific race or distance that you haven't done that you want to do?
There is a race that I want to do back home in Mexico. It's by UTMB, and it's UTMB Puerto Vallarta.
Okay.
And it's just because it's back home. It's about
Where is home?
Mexico, Jalisco, Mexico. So
Okay.
right by Puerto Vallarta, we're close by.
Okay.
And it's about an hour and a half from where my parents live. It starts there.
Oh.
And then, we end up right down in Puerto Vallarta. So the town where it actually starts, I've been there. We have to cross to that town to get to this other religious town that we go to. So I want to do that out there because I'm hoping and wishing my parents would come out.
Oh, yeah.
Like, they've never seen me race. They've never been part of this life, what I do now. Like, they know I run, but I don't think they understand.
Do you think it would be a shock to them to see all that?
I think so. Like, I don't think they really realize, like,
How much of a badass daughter they have?
no, not just like, they know I run, but they don't, like, to them, it's just like, oh, you run. Like, okay. I mean, I'm training all the time when I'm over there. Like, they know, and my dad is just like, oh, what time are you leaving? Where are you going? When are you coming home?
Dad stuff.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
stuff. And he's like, you better not go up the mountain. You better. Like, he's so overprotective.
That's tough.
But I think he feels like he doesn't think I can do it.
Oh.
You know?
He doesn't realize he has a badass daughter.
So I don't know.
But that's so typical, right? Of our parents?
Yeah. And I just think it's because they've never seen me do anything, like sports related. So that's something I really wish to do.
Would that be like a dream race for you?
That would be.
Okay.
And the thing about it is it's in like November. So it's in the middle of the school year. And that's, I teach. So if I'm going to go do that race, I'm not just going to go show up to that race and then come home. Like, if I'm going to be down there, I want to be down there for a little while, get to see my parents and,
Is it something you're going to do while you're teaching, or are you like, oh, I have to wait till I retire? Like, what do you?
No, I'll probably do it when I'm teaching.
Good.
But maybe in a couple years. Like this year, I'm going to start kindergarten teacher. So it's going to be a rough year just to get my first year in.
What grade do you teach now?
I taught first grade for 14 years. And then the last 2 years I've been doing ESL, English as a second language, like support. So I'll pull groups of students who teach them how to speak English and how to read and write in English.
Gotcha.
But I just really miss the classroom. So next year I'll be back in the classroom as a kindergarten teacher. So I know it's going to be really busy for me. So I know like it's going to be a lot of stress. Like it wouldn't be a good year to try to do it.
Gotcha.
So, but that would definitely be my dream race. Just back home. hopefully my dad and mom will get to experience it, because otherwise I don't think they get to see any of it.
No one, unless they've really been there, can understand what ultra runners go through. And speaking, I mean, my mom came briefly to my 100-miler for she saw and waved, and I still don't think that they
really understand it. Yeah, that's what I mean.
I understand what you're saying. It's like I just want you to know how I'm tough.
Look, Mom, this is something I can do. Like, come watch something that I love to do, like enjoy doing.
Yeah,
you know.
Well, that was kind of a question from Lynn too with the Dream Race. So there you go, Lynn. We kind of answered that. Lynn had another one. How do you stay so happy and energetic? But I kind of asked that too, as you just positive talk.
I've just tried to positive talk. Yeah. Just to keep it all together.
Another listener is curious about your recovery routine post-race, and what does that look like for you?
I don't even know.
Do you roll?
I do not roll.
What?
I'll do like a lot of stretching, like mobility work. I do that. And if I do roll, it's like 3, 4, 5 days later when I know it's not going to hurt like horribly. But I do have the compression sleeves. So I do that on my legs. And I do Epsom salt baths. But I think what I start with always is like an Epsom salt bath. And then I do mobility. Okay. Because I feel like it feels good. I know it hurts, but it just makes my body feel less tense and more loose. Mm-hmm. But foam rolling, I'm not good at it.
Okay.
But yeah, that's what I do. And I eat all the food. I mean, not that I don't know.
I think the food is the most, I can't remember.
It's so hard.
No, I think Andrea will hopefully help me. It's the most understood or it is the biggest tool in your toolbox to help you run faster,
but that's
do
the
better.
one you think of the least to
and the one
focus on.
Yeah, because you're running fast, you do it so good in your first 10 miles, your first 15 miles. And Andrea is the one who's drilled it so hard in my head is as I'm sitting there pre-race, she'll look at me and say, eat. I want you to eat right now before you go to the start line. And then in the first 30 minutes,
eat something.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I feel like so many of us are thinking, I'm fine.
Yeah, I feel great. Yeah.
But you will get behind. And I feel like if anything, you can't bank miles, you can't bank time, but I feel like you can bank calories a little bit.
Ahead of time, yeah.
And that is something that it's so hard to get through all of our heads is we have to eat.
You have to eat. And that's something I keep telling myself too. Like if you feel hungry, you're behind.
You're done.
You're in trouble.
Yeah, you're in big trouble. Yeah,
once you feel like, oh my God, I'm hungry, then I'm in trouble because I know I was not feeling like you should never feel hungry. Mm-hmm. You know, like the craving, like to eat, like you shouldn't feel like, oh my God, I could just eat a cheeseburger right now. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But yeah,
I think it's good for women, especially to hear you say you're eating during your training.
I always do
racing because it's kind of counter. I don't know what you should say, culture of what we're told. So many women are under eating and are underfed in their training. And when you're doing that, you are literally, it takes food for energy, ladies.
Yeah, no, I always take food. Yep. Even if it's my 4-mile runs, I take food.
Yep.
I take it. I mean, if I don't eat before it, like I'll take something. Like even on this week that's been my recovery week, I've been doing, I did like 2 on Tuesday and on today or Thursday, I had an hour walk run. I took applesauce pouches. I'm like 30 minutes in, I'm taking my applesauce pouch. I don't care. And I do. Like I'll carry like a granola bar.
Yeah,
like
me too.
If my miles, are more than 5, you better believe I'm bringing something because I'll eat it at mile 3. Because then I need to.
I mean, it for energy production. You need to train your stomach to be able to run distances that it knows how to absorb and take it. I know I always get on that tangent, but
and that's usually my rule. Rita, I always eat something at every 3 miles, no matter what it is, even if it's just a bite. I don't care. It's 3 miles. I'm eating a bite of something.
Good.
I love to hear that so much.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I do focus on that for sure.
I used to be comfortable running fasted in the morning.
Oh, yeah.
Even if I'm like, oh, it's just 5 miles. It's just 3 miles. It's just 5 miles. But I'm also doing quality miles, like hill repeats. And I feel like that really screwed up some things for me. And so now I will not. I don't.
No, and it does drain your energy. I can really feel it when I don't take something with me, and I'm like, oh my God, when I'm done. Like I feel just angry.
I think I started gaining weight because of that.
We're angry.
Oh,
Yeah.
Hold on just a second here.
Oh yeah, and I think your body, like
Hello?
you said.
Are you?
Hi.
We're on the podcast.
Sorry to interrupt your podcast. I'm driving, so I can't look at my map.
Sounds like it's Stephanie.
Can you just repeat it again?
We're
Yay.
on the first stop before Wolf Creek.
Okay. So what mile is he at right now? You're on the podcast right now.
Hi, podcast. How we doing? I don't even know what my name is. He should be about 29.
20.
His next stop is 46.
Okay. So about 29 miles in.
Yes.
All right.
He's amazing.
He's
just,
doing
it's,
so good.
It's a walk in the woods, you know? That's what we do.
Yay.
Love it.
I walk in the
So-
woods.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you for the update.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep.
All the good vibes.
Bye-bye.
I walk in the woods. I love it.
It's just a walk in the
No,
woods.
it's just a walk
So,
in the
I mean, the update also, I was asking her for an update because she sent a picture and I was like, I don't know what mile that is. So he came in and he's at, what did she say, 29 miles?
Yeah.
And he's getting rain all night. And one of the hardest part of this race, Andrea and I was talking about, is it's not the heat. It's not this. It's storms like crazy. So he's going to be fighting starting some point in time tomorrow. It's going to rain all night, 33,000 feet of gain, and lightning.
I think for people too, I was telling Jen this earlier that a long time ago when this was like one of Matthias's like, oh, I want to do this race is when we were training a lot together. And he's like, here, I need you to read like the description of this. And so he gave it to me to like possibly be a pacer someday. And I remember being like, here you go. No, I'm not hiding under a tree to die of the lightning. And he's like, really?
Yeah. The
So
lightning's
this
bad.
race is like scary.
It's one of the harder ones, right?
Yes.
It's one of the hardest
It's
ones I've heard.
and more because of the lightning, the storms, the weather. And they're calling for hail.
Oh my God.
So I'm just like,
I don't like it.
I saw
Oh,
one of the
no,
group
I
in the
don't
group
think I
test
would.
is like, hey, at least it's not warm. And I'm like, I think I'd rather have it warm.
I'd rather have the warm. Whatever. I can still walk in the warm. I don't know if I can walk in the hail.
All right. Sorry for that. All right. We had to get an update. All right. Where were we? I totally just, because she called.
Oh,
so
we were talking about food. Like,
Yeah.
how do you forget that? It's like,
How do you forget to eat?
how do you forget food?
No, I mean, how do you forget to eat? Also, I've heard
Right.
people say that, like, oh, I forgot to eat.
Like,
or,
how?
what I was starting to say was I think I was raising my cortisol levels and I was seeing some weight gain. And now I'm like, oh, can't do this anymore. So I have switched and, I'm like, all right, now I need to start eating better because
Yeah.
I think that I was stressing my body by
Not eating.
By
'cause
not eating.
So it was keeping everything in reserve just in case you didn't eat again.
Yeah,
it
so
needed something
actually
to
you think you're
survive.
going to lose weight, but actually I reversed it.
Yeah.
So I'm like, well, shit, this
Yes.
is not good. So now I'm like, I am now starting to eat better before I leave. A lot better than what I used to.
Yeah.
So
And that's always so hard. And that's something I'm struggling with in the morning. Like,
You have to
I'm
plan
not
it.
hungry in the
Yeah,
4
no.
o'clock in the morning.
but I was
Oh my God. So I just stuff a banana in my face. I'm like, I'm not hungry, but I'm just going to eat this banana at least
well,
for
Stacey
now.
Sims says even just a couple of spoonfuls of yogurt is fine. Like
Yeah.
it's just got to be a little something. And I'm like,
Yeah.
really, that's it? And she's yeah. So I mean, I learned a lot in that course, and so I'm trying
I've been
to
reading into that.
reverse everything, all the damage I've done.
Yeah. But it's so hard though, especially like when you're not hungry in the morning. I'm like, I don't know. I just want to get this done, But eat your food, people.
Eat your food.
Eat your food. Eat your snackies.
Eat your food. Food
And
is
your
good.
snacky food is awesome.
And protein. I had a couple messages that that people are saying, well, you're telling me eat a lot of protein, but if I eat too much protein, I get constipated. Well, you're getting constipated. Well, Andrea was pointing out to me also, you're getting constipated because you're not drinking a lot of
enough
water.
water.
Also, what happens when you do a lot of protein, you're missing your fiber.
So you gotta add some
But you still gotta have-
veggies and fruit.
You still got to have a lot of water when you eat
Yeah.
fiber. It all comes down to water and fiber,
Yeah.
a balance. So,
Balance.
my answer is you're messing something else up.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
don't skip your protein.
No.
All right. So we went on that tangent. So
Changes are the best.
They are. What advice would you have for runners coming into this?
Just do it. Just do it. Walk, hike, just do it. Show up, volunteer. Come hang out. You don't even have to do anything. Just hang out, cheer people on.
You're a great volunteer.
Like I just show up. Like it will change you. It will definitely change you if you just show up, come watch people, cheer them on. Like I think that's just it. If you don't want to run, you don't want to do it, that's fine. Just come and hang out though. Like give yourself, you know, I don't know, the opportunity to try something different that maybe you've never had, you know, to do before. I don't know.
That's really good advice. Yeah.
Just try it.
Doesn't hurt.
It doesn't hurt. Nope. I mean, you're not going to lose anything by just trying it. Just get out there. Just do something. It's okay.
All right. Yeah. I think I have covered all my questions. I really could have talked more about some races, but we're an hour and a half in.
Oh my gosh.
Whoa.
Yeah. I know. And I know we could keep talking because we start talking about women and I got to tell you guys, I'm sitting here looking at the screen. I'm looking at two really strong women. I'm seeing some biceps in front of me.
I know. I was just looking at that. I was like, dang.
I'm seeing sets of biceps. There's one across the table from me. You're very toned. She's very strong. I'm like looking at you guys and I'm like, shit, I got step it up over here. But it also makes me really proud to have friends and women that I know who are stepping up to the challenge and realizing that as we age, we need to get stronger. We need to do this. We need to do that. And that's super awesome. And I think it's really great that you guys are.
I mean, just move your body. Like that's all. Yeah. That's all you have to do. Move your body. Go for a walk.
But you both are two strong women. And I am so blessed to know you both. Aww. And I can't say thank you enough for being on the podcast.
Well, thank you for having me.
Both of you. Andrea for joining.
You. Thanks for asking me.
Yeah.
Both of you.
You knew you would drag you over here.
Yeah. I was happy to hear some stuff from the Rock. I think there's probably more stories they're holding back from us from Rocky Raccoon, but I don't think. Well, I don't think we poured enough alcohol in them, but so I don't know. But I think you have to pay some to hear the stories, and I think that's always a good thing to do too. You volunteer, you can always pay people too to get a little. Experience.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
that's something I want to be.
I don't know.
I want to get into.
Although I kind of take my pacers kind of serious, so.
Anybody need a pacer? I'm willing.
Hey, I just said
I need to learn. I need to learn to be a pacer.
Yeah.
And a crew. You know, like I help out at the aid stations and stuff, but that's different. Like you're not there for just that one person.
Yeah.
You know? I do.
It's very
You learn
rewarding.
so much.
It truly is.
Just even
I don't have
watching
anything big coming up.
people.
I only have 100Ks this year coming up, and I'm going solo on both of them. So
that's pretty big.
That's pretty big. 100K. That's pretty big.
Yep, but I guess in my mind, I'm like, coming home, I'm like, you can do it solo. I mean, you can.
Oh, come on.
All right, guys.
Right.
I think
Thank
that's
you
it.
for having me.
Yes,
have a great weekend.
Great. We'll see you guys all on the trail, hopefully.
See everyone on the trail. Keep training. Happy miles. And until next time.
See ya.
Bye.
Goodbye.